Cavaliers, and welcome to the Memphis Gavel Club meeting. Today is September 15th, 2024. VIG Q&A session. Very important guests, welcome. Please insert your contact information in the chat box at the bottom of the page. Chat box communications. Feel free to utilize the chat to communicate quietly during the meeting. Show support of our speakers with jazz hands, or choose the reaction emoji located at the bottom of the screen to the right of the chat box. Speakers, it is recommended that you pin the timer to help with the time management of your speech. The pin command is at the top right of your participants square. Speakers, if you have not done so prior to today's meeting, please send a brief introduction to your Toastmaster and your title, speech time, and objectives should be sent to your evaluators via chat or email. Some gentle reminders for Zoom etiquette. Mute yourself when not speaking. Be mindful of your personal background spaces. Let us begin with the club mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Toastmasters, please welcome our 2024-2025 club president, Michael Liu. What?
No, I think it's easier.
They can't see that.
Maybe it's easier. Okay, I see.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Liu. I'm your president for this semester. Today, I would like to introduce the Toastmaster, Mr. Xavier Taylor.
Hello everybody, I will be your Toastmaster for today's meeting, and I would like to first start by bringing up our grammarian timer for the introduction of their roles. So if we have the grammarian up first for today.
Look over there. Thank you, Toastmasters. I am the grammarian for today's meeting. As your grammarian, I will be evaluating your speeches for filler words such as us, and like. I will also be evaluating your use on the word of the day, which is memento. Could I please have the definition?
Thank you, Mr. Miriam. May I now have the timer up, which is
I'm sorry, who's the timer?
Irvin, yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Irvin. I'm your timer for the day, and I'll be evaluating your guys' time on your speeches. I don't remember the exact time for each speech, but I hope you guys would help me with that.
For icebreaker, it's a 4 to 6 minutes.
Okay, I need to write that down.
I 4 to 6 minutes.
And then another one is 5 to 7 minutes.
Normal speech would be 5 to 7 minutes, and then table topics is 1 or 2, if I'm not mistaken. Did you send it to us?
Table topic is 1 to 2.
Is that right?
Yes. Okay, so timer is done. Let's move on.
All right. And now I'd like to start by bringing up our first evaluator for our first speaker. I believe it was Isaac.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster. Today I'll be evaluating Mia's speech, which I believe is her icebreaker. I will be looking for filler words such as like, and I will be looking for usages of the word of the day. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm gonna share her PowerPoint. I'm gonna share right now. And that is
The leftmost one, top left.
this one, yeah. Thank you. All right. Okay, here we go.
Okay. My speech is about like the history of Mario, kind of. I couldn't find everything about him simply because this is a school iPad. I can't Google games, so next slide. Okay, so a little bit of context before its creation. Hiroshi, the owner of Nintendo, was working on arcade games for a while because the industry was like growing. And encouraged by the success of its EVR race and radar scope in Japan, Nintendo produced 3,000 radar scope cabinets to distribute in the US, except that the American arcade vendors did not really like it, so they had over 2,000 unsold radar scope machines left. So what happened after? Hiroshi went back to the drawing board and tasked the product and artist Shigeru Miyamoto with creating a game more appealing to the Americans. Miyamoto had an advantage over the other video game developers as he was not a programmer, he was an artist first, so he could see it from a different perspective. He ended up focusing on the story first, which took inspirations from the American cartoon and comic books. An example of such would be the story of Bluto and Popeye fighting over the love of Olive Olo, which was taken into Miyamoto's game that featured a carpenter named Jumpman who had to rescue his girlfriend named Pauline from a gold gorilla kidnapper Donkey Kong. They thought that this name it conveyed the idea of a stupid gorilla. So where did the name Mario come from? Prior to Donkey Kong's release in 1981, Nintendo of America rented a Seattle area warehouse to keep the radar scope machines from a man named Mario Segal. Because the company's resources were tied up to the development of Donkey Kong, they fell behind on rent. When an angry Segal paid company president Minoru Arakawa a visit demanding payment, Arakawa assured the landlord that the rent would be paid soon. When Segal left, a light bulb went off in Arakawa's head, and he and his team began jokingly referring to the pixelated carpenter as Mario. a bit of a continuation of such. Donkey Kong was a huge success, but the company did not take a break after it and made a sequel named Donkey Kong Jr. That was basically a story of the son of Donkey Kong trying to rescue his father from the evil clutches of the character now known as Mario. Despite Mario being the bad guy, the game was another success for Nintendo. So now it's just a timeline of Mario games. So, in 1985, Super Mario Bros. Arrived on the Nintendo Entertainment System and set the stage for the most Super Mario games to come. Basically, you control Mario as he travels the Mushroom Kingdom to rescue Princess Toadstool, Princess Peach's original name, from the evil Bowser. It also introduced many of the Mario universe's assets, such as question blocks, the introduction of Luigi in multiplayer, and other stuff. The composer Koji Kondo penned the first Mario soundtrack and still does till this day. In 1986, Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, was the true sequel to the original game. Available on the Famicom Disk System, it was known to be difficult with more challenging design levels and tougher obstacles. It retained the same original mechanics but added wind and poisoned mushrooms. In 1988, Super Mario Bros. 2 was released for the NES. Player could choose between Mario, Luigi, Princess Toadstool, and Toad, and each had a unique ability. It introduced the ability to pick up and throw objects, plus new characters like Birdo, the Shy Guy, and Big Bar Sport. In 1988, Super Mario Bros. 3 also came to the States. In it, Mushroom World was invaded by Koopalings, Bowser's 7 children. They conquered all seven kingdoms, stealing the king's magic and transforming him into an animal. He also got the flight-seeing Super Leaf power-up, which allows Mario to fly. It also introduced a world map and a handful of mini-games on bonus screens. In 1989, Super Mario Land came on the Game Boy for the first time. It took part in Sarasa Land, where Mario was tasked with rescuing Princess Daisy from the alien Tenga, even taking airplanes and submarines to save her. In 1990, Super Mario World games on the SNES that introduced Yoshi, Mario's dinosaur friend. Thanks to the new console, it was able to expand on its predecessor's mechanics, offering a huge interconnected world complete with power-ups like the Cape Feather. In 1992, Super Mario Land 2 Golden Coins was his return to the Game Boy. It introduced Wario, who was the antagonist for the game. As Mario is tasked to reclaim his palace and wider Mario Land from Wario, but only after defeating 6 mini-bosses for Golden Coins. In 1995, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi makes Yoshi the main character, where he has to go save Baby Mario from Kamek and Baby Bowser. The whole experience was different as it was all hand-drawn. In 1996, Super Mario 64 revolutionized gaming and set an early bar for 3D platformers. In the Nintendo 64, Mario explored Peach's castle, hopping through paintings to explore levels and collect power stars. In 2002, Super Mario Sunshine was only the debut for Mario on the GameCube. It introduced the Fluid, a water-spraying device that allowed Mario to clean the aisle, Delfino jetpack around the place, and ultimately defeat Shadow Mario. In 2006, New Super Mario Bros. Was on the Nintendo DS and was the first 2 Mario experience for over a decade with a modern look. Introduced new power-ups like the Mega Mushroom. 2007, Super Mario Galaxy, which has the franchise's debut on the Wii. It looked Mario to outer space and with its new heights. Its gravity-based gameplay and the tiny planet stage designs were cool. Mario travels across the galaxies, collecting power stars to rescue Princess Peach from Bowser. In 2003, New Mario Bros. Wii expanding on the 4-player co-op. Power-ups including Propeller Suit and Penguin Suit. In 2010, Super Mario Galaxy 2, it added power-ups like Drill and Cloud suits and threw Yoshi into the mix. In 2011, Super Mario 3D Land combined 2D and 3D design elements and mechanics, which was working on Nintendo 3DS. It introduced Propeller Box, Boomerang, Flower, and Tanuki Suit. In 2012, New Super Mario Bros. 2 was on the Nintendo 3DS. It was focused on coin collections, which was collecting 1 million coins that were hidden throughout the game's 9 worlds. In 2012, New U was released with the Wii U console. Once again, Princess Peach was being held captive by Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings, leaving Mario and Luigi and 2 Toads to rescue her. It was the first HD 2D Mario game and introduced power-ups like the Super Acorn. In 2013, Super Mario 3D came on the Wii U. It had more experiences and created new abilities like the cat suit. It builds off of the 3D Super Mario Land, and it is considered to be one of the best Wii U games. It was re-released on the Switch. In 2015, Super Mario Maker was the final game for the franchise on the Wii U and allowed the players to create, share, and play their own creations. In 2016, Super Mario Run was a mobile game. It was an auto runner where players tapped to make Mario jump and perform moves. It wasn't really good. It required internet connection and it costed $10 to fully unlock, which was expensive. In 2017, Super Mario Odyssey was on the Nintendo Switch. It was a 3D Mario game, which had clever mechanics and diverse worlds. The story is once again Mario having to rescue Princess Peach from a forced wedding to Bowser, but this time Mario isn't alone as he is joined by Cappy, who allows Mario to become the enemies for a period of time. In 2019, Super Mario Maker 2 was also created to expand on the story of the other game, where the Undog accidentally resets Princess Peach's castle and Mario, Toadette, and a few Toads help rebuild it by collecting coins over 100 Nintendo-created levels. Gameplay-wise, it added more tools like slopes and on and off switches and whatever. In 2021, Bowser's Fury, which is the first Super Mario game to drop the Super Mario from the title. It is technically a DLC, but it doesn't mean that it isn't up to the right standards. Mario works with Bowser Jr. to calm an angry, dark version of Bowser in the feline theme Lake Lap Cat area, using cat shines to help restore Bowser to his usual self. In 2023, Super Mario Bros. Wonder introduces the Wonder Flowers, drastically altering level dynamics alongside a new and fun art style. Wonder is known for its great replayability, especially due to its puzzling level designs. As always, Mario and his friends travel through Flower Kingdom to stop Bowser. The end.
Alright, so let me just add one more thing here. I noticed that we all come here for a reason, right? We're not here to kill the time. If you have other things to do, you can leave. Because if you're here and browse your phone, then apparently this is a waste of your time. You can go somewhere else, make a better use of your life, right? Your time. So either put your phone down or take your phone and go somewhere else, right? Okay, so let's just be honest and be respectful, because we're here to not only speak, but also to support each other. If somebody is speaking, you are not listening, hey, no good. All right, so we're on the same page. Let's give the time back to Toastmaster.
All right. Excellent speech, Mia. Next up, we have Hannah. I believe, yeah, our second evaluator is Hannah for Kate. Her icebreaker.
Hi, my name is Kate Wu, and I'm 14 years old. I go to Carville High School, and well, yeah, I like reading, I like painting, I like art, and I like sleep. But most especially, I really love reading, and it's something which you can kind of see by my Kindle, which I carry on everywhere. I've been recently getting into classics, reading classics like Jane Eyre, Great Expectations, War and Peace, and I don't know. And okay, yeah. From a young age, I've loved reading. If you've ever, like, at your school, if you ever had the program Advanced Readers Placement, whatever it's called, then you probably know what I'm going to be talking about. It's this program where it encourages elementary student kids to read by rewarding them, by giving them points for reading books and then succeeding on the mini assessments they gave you. And that was a big motivator to me loving reading, because I would read as much as I could to get as many points as I could in order to get the best rewards. But unfortunately, my name starts with a W, and all the good things were already taken before I got there. But that didn't stop me from reading, and because of that system, which I think encouraged me a lot for my reading, I began loving reading, and I also had a bigger reason to continue doing it. When I was 6 years old, my parents got me a Kindle despite me really wanting an iPad, but I'm really glad that my parents gave me a Kindle instead of an iPad, because on a Kindle, the only thing that you can do is read books on it. And so I feel like if I had gotten an iPad, I would have only played games and stuff on it and watched YouTube. But instead, I got a Kindle on which you can only read books on. So once I got the Kindle, at first I was like, I just want to read physical books. Why does this exist? But then I found out that since it's really small, I could sneakily read books in class. Please don't tell any of my teachers that I do that. And I'm sorry, Miss Matthews, but I did that a lot in your class. So because of the easeability and accessibility of it, I began loving it, and so I began reading on it more and more. And now I read on it almost every day, because it's just like something that I've been doing ever since I was young, and I really love reading on it. Okay. And yeah, as you can kind of see, it's a little bit broken, just a little bit. You can see the circuit chip in it, but that's a normal thing. And it has a few glitches, but that's okay. This is my third Kindle, because it's gone through a few things, because I bring it everywhere, including a few places that I should not. Like, I had two Kindles before, and I've dropped them both in the sink, but thankfully not this one, and I like to keep it that way. So yeah, I bring it everywhere, and I think that shows how much I love reading. Okay. If I had a quarter for every time I've dropped my Kindle, I'd probably be like 100 millionaire, because I'd gain a lot of money from doing that. So yeah, I think from a young age, I've really loved reading, and that's just like something that tells and shows a lot about me, because I like reading. And if you've ever wanted to like see any book series, I definitely recommend the Lacanius trilogies, Mistborn trilogies, Cosmere series, and the Reaper series. Okay, because they're really good books. And thank you.
All right. Excellent icebreaker. Okay. Kate. All right. Next up, it will be our table topics session. So we'll bring up Mr. Eric as our table topics master for today.
Woo.
I'm gonna be the table topics master, and I'm gonna be giving short questions, and I think you're supposed to answer them in 1 to 2 minutes. So, alright. Number 1, would you rather lose an arm but get $50,000 or a leg and get $2 million? That question will go to Michael.
Okay. So, there really isn't a good answer here. Obviously, I would like to remain with all of my limbs intact. Unfortunately, I would have to say that it's my arms that have to go. Because for me, I have a lot of hobbies. If I lose a leg, I pretty much won't be able to do any of them. However, if I do lose an arm, I'm still able to fence and walk around properly. However, losing an arm does also mean that I can't play violin anymore, which would be a huge bummer. I also wouldn't be able to play ping pong and lose to all the kids at school, so that would be, I guess, a positive. 50,000 also isn't really that much money, so losing an arm and also my passion would be a really bad deal for me. Unfortunately, since you offered me the choice, I would have to choose an arm, as it would be less detrimental overall to my health than losing a leg. Thank you.
Alright. Would you rather lead a multi-billion-dollar company but not enjoy your job, or would you rather lead a 6-figure company and enjoy your job? That question will go to Mr. Pendergrass.
Thank you, Eric. If I had a choice between a smaller company or this multi-billion-dollar company, assuming I'm the CEO and making multi-billion-dollar salaries, I'll take that one because I can suffer through it for a few years and use all that money I make as a memento of that horrendous experience. But I would enjoy the rest of my life. If I had to work at both for the same amount of time, say for 30 years, and just suffer through one or the other, I'd probably still take the multi-million-dollar industry. I have a price. But ideally, I would lead the multi-billion-dollar industry and enjoy my job, and I make a good time out of the job the best I can. But at the end of the day, it's all about that cash. So I would choose the billion-dollar or the multi-billion-dollar industry and be the CEO. Thank you, Eric.
If you could go back to your 8-year-old self with all of your current knowledge, what would you tell yourself? That question will go to, what's your name?
Amara.
Amara.
I think the knowledge I would tell my 8-year-old self is that middle school isn't that bad, except for 7th grade. 6th grade is easy, and I see why people drop out of high school now. And that push through it and try to keep up with your work and have fun too while you're a kid.
Would you rather drive a Bugatti or a Lamborghini? That question will go to Isaac.
So the question is, would I rather drive a Lamborghini or a Bugatti? And I'm taking a Lamborghini I'm taking the Bugatti all the time, because not only is it one of the most prestigious car brands in the world, it's also one of the brands that created the fastest car in the world. And I will be having a blast while I'm zipping down a private runway at 300 miles an hour. And everyone will know, because that car is probably over $5 million, and I will flex it for the rest of my life. Also, it's less likely to be stolen because most people don't know the value of it, versus a Lamborghini, which is a well-known car brand and everyone knows about them. So while it'll look out of place in most places, it'll also be less likely to be stolen by people who actually know about cars and know that Lamborghinis are pretty easy to steal. So that's my answer.
Would you rather live through the training of a Shaolin monk or a Navy SEAL? That question will go to Hannah.
So the question was, would I rather go through the training of a Shaolin monk or a Navy SEAL? And while I don't know much about the US military system, I have visited the Shaolin Temple recently, actually this summer. So I have seen what they do firsthand, and it's really tough. They have to wake up at 4 a.m. and do a lot of training and physical exercise. However, what the results come up to are really, really impressive. For example, one monk gave us a demonstration, and with his fingers, he flicked a needle through a solid piece of glass. And I just think that being able to do these things with these usually undefined muscles are really impressive. So I think that's what I would pick.
What would your ideal vacation be? And that goes to Ms. Anna Chung.
My ideal vacation would be a lot of places. Of course, the top one is China. Go back to see my families and enjoy the food I like. Nothing beat that. And also, the country is so big. There are many places I haven't been to, so it's always be a good place to go to visit some places that have never been to. Another place would be South America or Central America, because I like the music, I like Latin music, I like the dance over there, so it would be just a really good place to go and enjoy the culture there and enjoy something different. And third place, I would say let's do the number one, number two first before I think about the number three. Thank you for that question.
Do you want to be a celebrity when you grow up? Why or why not? That question will go to Irvin. Oh.
I would choose to not be a celebrity in the future because being a celebrity will make you go to places that you won't necessarily want to unless you really want to be a celebrity, like going on a stage or like performing all across the country, but you will earn a lot of money off of it. But I'd rather like live my humble little life in even like just an office somewhere or maybe a factory and be happy with that. I don't want to get the extra stress from going everywhere and caring about all this stuff. That is the end of my speech.
Okay, what would you do if books were illegal? Okay.
Books were illegal?
If books were illegal.
If books were illegal, then so the question was, if books were illegal, what would I do? So if books are illegal, then I'd probably read them in secret and defy the law. Yeah, so if books are illegal, I would read them illegally and go against the law because I love books too much. And as a memento of my love for books, as discussed in my icebreaker speech earlier, I would probably just like keep a whole library of books hidden in a secret bunker, even if they were illegal. That's my answer to the question. Thank you.
If you could live in any fictional world, what fictional world would you live in? That goes to Diana.
She get a different question, she ain't sure what that question is.
Oh, yeah. If you could, well, actually, no. Would you rather live the chaotic life of Princess Peach or the heroic life of Mario?
Was Mario one? So there's no Princess Peach. She might not know that one either.
Okay, that's fine. If you could invent a new sport, what would it be?
If I could invent a new sport, it would probably be soccer mixed with basketball.
Why?
Because
You can use both your hand and your leg that way?
you can use your hands and your legs. And it would probably be very difficult for like other teams. And then what sport?
And how are some of the rules?
Would you rather live the chaotic life of Princess Peach or the heroic life of Mario? That question I go to Mia.
Okay, to be honest, I would rather live like Princess Peach, even though I'm being kidnapped basically every week. At least I don't have to like travel the entire country to make my way toward me instead of like just standing in a cage. It doesn't sound too bad if you think about it. Pretty sure Bowser would keep his maybe lover in a really nice area with good food and a good living condition, but like seems good enough for me. Mario, I would be terrified to live as him. Being a plumber and then traveling the world to save some princess is not worth it. I won't be doing that anytime soon. Thank you.
If you were in a fight and you needed help, would you rather have Spider-Man on your side or Batman on your side? That question will go to Mr. Horace Taylor.
Spider-Man or Batman? Maybe a conglomerate of both Spider-Man and here's why. If I was Spider-Man, I think I would be able to walk quietly, and I'll try and use my fingers to demonstrate walking as a spider, right? But if I was a Batman, while I was Spider-Man, I could flap my wings and then it would make my walking even more silent. So when I pounce on you, especially when books are illegal to read, I will take all of the books that's illegal, I will spin them in my web, and then I will fly away to where they can be read by anybody and everybody. That's my answer. I don't know what I'm saying. Help me.
Would you rather live in the water or live in the forests forever? That question will go to Tim.
Would I rather live in the water or the forest? I will take the forest. I'm quite scared of waters where you can't see like the bottom. It's just pure darkness. And then anything can pop up in there. But like the forest is just green. Sometimes there's rain, sometimes there's sun. I could build a tree house there and live in there and go forage for some berries and maybe learn how to catch some food on myself. I feel like that'd be a nice, relaxing kind of thing. And there won't be too many dangers posed to me other than maybe like a bear or something. But I feel like if I go high enough, they won't get me. But if I were to be in the ocean, if I had to learn how to survive in the ocean, I can't really, uh, I don't really know how to fish. And I also don't really like eating fish. So that would probably make my life worse. And just like living in the ocean, having vast around you with nobody there, being alone, no animals, just the fish. Can't even like have a pet fish. They're just gonna swim away and I'll never see it again. And then there could also be sharks or just a humongous giant creature that I don't know of until I look down, which is it horrifies me. So I'd rather live in the
And then you say, that's the end of table topics.
Alright, and that'll be the end of the table topic session.
All right. Excellent table topics session, Mr. Eric. Now we will move on to our general evaluation. Let's introduce our general evaluator for today, Mr. Tim Good.
Start with evaluation. I'll like first evaluating it, which is
Can you repeat that, Tim? I could barely hear you.
I could call on Isaac to give his evaluation of the first.
All right, thank you, Tim. So I will be evaluating Mia's icebreaker speech, I believe.
I think it's organizer speech.
Okay, organizer speech. And it was a very interesting speech on the subject of the story of Mario, but I believe there are some areas you can improve on. Number one being eye contact. I didn't see any, and you were just looking at the screen, which is something that you should work on, which is engaging with your audience, letting them know that you're trying to get them interested versus just staring at the screen. So that's one thing you should work on. Also, there were a lot of pauses throughout, which you should also work on, and just making the speech more fluid. But as you do more speeches, you'll get better with that. Also, there were a lot of filler words, and the transitions were not the best. Instead of just reading out the titles, you should say, for instance, moving on to the next subject, or that brings me to, which are some good transitions. And also the length was extremely long. And I feel like instead of going to each individual game, you should try and group them. Like versus the Super Mario franchise and the Mario franchise, you should try and group them together and just try and hit them one by one instead of an in-depth explanation of each game. Otherwise, it was a good speech, and that's all I have.
Next up, I'd like to call upon Hannah for the as evaluator too for I believe the Kate's icebreaker speech, was it?
Thank you. I will be evaluating Kate's icebreaker speech, right? Yeah. So Kate's speech was well organized, and I really enjoyed the bits of humor in there. And I also appreciate that she brought a prop, which she used to explain her love for reading more thoroughly. However, she did stutter quite a bit, and there were a few filler words. But otherwise, I think it was a well-prepared speech, and she did really good on expressing herself. And I'm no expert at evaluating speeches, so this is just what I noticed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I'll call upon our timer for his timer's report.
Timer's report.
For the first speech, so one about Mario, it was astonishing 12 minutes and 3 seconds. For the icebreaker speech, it was barely past 4 minutes at 4 minutes and 1 second. For the first table topic, we have 54 seconds. The second one, 41 seconds. The third one, 28. The fourth one, 56. The fifth one, 1 minute and 3. The sixth one, 1 minute and 5. The seventh one, 42 seconds. The eighth one, 56 seconds. The ninth one, 54 seconds. The 10th one, 48 seconds. The 11th one, 58 seconds. And the last one, 1 minute and 25 seconds.
Lastly, I'd like to call upon the grammarian for the grammarian report.
All right, on evaluating your guys' essays for filler words and word of the days, Mia, your speech had 5 filler words and no use of the word of the day. Kate, yours had 4 filler words and no use of the word of the day. Michael's, you had no filler words and no use of the word of the day. Mr. Jason, you had no filler words and 1 use of the word of the day. Amara, you had 0 filler words and no uses of the word of the day. Isaac, you also had no filler words and no uses of the word of the day. Hannah, you also had no filler words and no uses of the word of the day. Miss Anna, you also had no filler words and no uses of the word of the day. Irvin, you had 1 filler word and no use of the word of the day. Kate, you had 4 filler words and no use of the word of the day. Diana, you had no filler words and no use of the word of the day. Mia, you had 2 filler words and no use of the word of the day. Mr. Taylor, you had 1 filler word and 0 uses of the word of the day. And Tim, you had no filler words and no uses of the word of the day.
Lastly, I'd give overall evaluation for the meeting. And like a lot of us had not used the word of the day today, and hopefully we'll be able to get that in the next meeting. First off, our meeting did start a little bit late with some technical issues, but well, and I believe we're still on time for 4 o'clock. And we had a pretty great evaluations of everybody and great speeches from everyone. So I'll turn over the control to our Toastmaster for the day. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that excellent general evaluation session. And now I would like to turn it back over to the Toastmaster for adjourning of our meeting.
Do you want to give a summary of the meeting? A summary of the meeting.
Like exactly what they summarize the 2 speeches and all of the table topics, or
Just what you saw, like overall.
the overall?
Just overall about the meeting, what you want the meeting to be better, some suggestions. Yeah. So do you have any suggestions for the meeting?
I felt like Mia's speech dragged on a bit, a bit too long.
Yeah, so next time you can help her at home, right?
I did help her.
Oh, okay.
Mental help is still help, okay?
It wasn't even mental health. He didn't say anything.
You were doing it in the middle of volunteering.
Not my problem.
That was exactly your problem.
Okay, now continue.
Okay, so anything else we can do better?
We can do better. I think it's fine, but I really liked her speech
Great.
about reading and how much like it actually means to her. It's a very good intro to her character,
Yeah,
I would say.
right. I agree.
And some of the responses to the tabletop topics were a bit short though, so
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Yeah. Well, we need to try to make it a 1 minute mark. Isaac had some suggestions.
I would also like to add great table topics questions and good job specifically making them to each person. For instance, me with cars, her with the reading, and Mario. We love to see it, and it gives more thoughtful answers.
Yeah, good job. Good topic on that. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna share my